You're watching the Pac-12 on ESPN on a beautiful, clear, and chilly night in Eugene, Oregon. We're inside Autzen Stadium. It's senior night for the number 12 ranked Oregon Ducks at home with all the ceremony that goes into a Ducks home game, hosting the number 10 Utes from the University of Utah. It's been a great year for Pac-12 football, and this has been one of the most important, impactful days in Pac-12 football in a long time. We're going to talk about championship implications throughout our broadcast tonight. You got 5 teams that still have a chance to play for a Pac-12 title. USC and UCLA playing as we speak at the Rose Bowl. We'll keep you posted on that. Washington playing as well. And, of course, our matchup, Oregon and Utah. Hi, everybody. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Tiffany Blackman is with us as well. So there's championship implications. It's been such a fun year in the Pac-12. We expect a great game. There is, though, Rod, one big story looming over this game, and that is the status of a guy who's been one of the best players in college football, the Oregon quarterback, Bo Nix.
Yeah, you feel badly for Bo Nix because he's really had a Heisman-worthy season. He's led the FBS in total touchdowns coming into today with 39, and also in completion percentage with 73%. And then he got banged up last week late in the game against Washington. Appears to be the right ankle. But it's been a tough injury, and it's unclear whether he'll be able to go tonight. Now, we were told it was a game-time decision, and he's been warming up tonight. And down on the field, we were watching him, and he wasn't moving great. So there's a lot of concern that even if he lines up and takes the opening snap or so, I'm not sure he can move well enough to really be effective in this game.
So we'll see. That's obviously a big part of the story. And for Oregon, I mean, I think even though it's a new year, these are 2 different teams. They need all the help they can get matching up against a Utah team, Rod, that last year played the Ducks twice in 13 days at the end of the year and smashed them both times.
Yeah, punched them out. Had it been a heavyweight fight, they would have called. It would have been over because they got them the first time 38-10 and then 38-7, and they did it the same way both times, being physical and pounding them. And I think you can expect the same approach tonight from Utah.
And Oregon coming off a loss, very disappointing loss at home. Utah, meanwhile, maybe playing its best football of the year coming into this game. For more, before kickoff, let's go down to the field to Tiffany Blackman.
Hey guys, Bo Nix did address the team this week on Thursday in a player-led meeting that he called, and in it, edge rusher DJ Johnson told us they laid out what was at stake, that they still have the Pac-12 championship and possibly the Rose Bowl. And he said the message was clear, let's finish strong. And on the Utah side, they too know what's at stake. Receiver Devon Vele told me that this game is the championship game, that whoever wins it will be playing in the Pac-12 championship. He said that is the approach and mindset they took going into this week, guys.
All right, thank you, Tiffany. I don't blame Devon for having not gone through all the different tiebreaker scenarios. It's not quite that clear.
Yeah, not that easy.
But it is true that the winner of this game has a huge leg up in terms of getting to the Pac-12 championship game. Lots still to be decided. Utah won the toss. They've deferred. So we're going to get part of our Bo Nix answer right away. Oregon's offense is going to be on the field to start the game. It's a short, returnable kickoff, and the Ducks are going to bring it out across the 20, but no farther. And so we will see. Oregon, we've told you, Bo Nix has been on the field warming up, trying to go. They haven't specified the injury. The lower leg injury, we think it's a right ankle. But if he does play and play well, it's going to be hard to live up to the standards of how well he's played all year. He's a guy who obviously had a lot of playing experience at Auburn, and he's being introduced in front of this big crowd to a huge ovation. Inconsistent at Auburn. Here he's been totally consistent and has been one of the best players in college football. It's been a banner year, and he's on the field to start the game.
Yeah, he's been the focal point of this offense. He's made it go, and let's see how effective he can be.
Well, he's going to throw the ball right away, but before he could throw it, a penalty flag was thrown.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 58, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Now the other part of Oregon's health status coming into this game is along the offensive line. That's Jackson Powers Johnson, who is not normally a starter. He gets called for the false start. Alex Forsyth questionable, Ryan Walk questionable, Stephen Jones, another guy who's been banged up along that offensive line.
And that's an offensive line that has been pretty much the best in the conference.
So Nix will throw on 1st and 15, and he completes his first pass of the game to Chris Hudson. And they get the penalty yardage back, the Ducks do, plus maybe one more. It looks to me, Rod, like at the start, the starting center, Alex Forsythe, who's a huge part of Oregon's offensive line, looks to me like he is not out there at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, we'll see how much this impacts the way they run the ball today.
Play fake, and Nix is going to throw back across his body, completes it to his running back. That's Bucky Irving. And Bucky Irving across the 25 out to about the 27-yard line.
Now, what we're seeing from Nix is exactly what we saw in warm-ups. You know, just him kind of standing still, throwing the ball. We didn't see him run, didn't see him move around. And remember, he's carried the ball the third most times in this offense. And if he isn't able to run and create things with his legs, that's a problem.
Oregon, all their offensive numbers are really impressive this year. One of the best third down teams in the conference in the country. Bo Nix throws on third down, completes it. A big gain. Hudson tripped up as he crosses the 45, out close to the 47-yard line. First down, Ducks.
Now, if Bo Nix is able to be effective tonight on essentially one leg, does that make you think of, I don't know, Byron Leftwich when he was carried down the field for, you know, Marshall, and he could barely do anything with his legs, but some kind of performance like that?
Well, he's got a chance. Look, we've just started. This has a chance to be a very memorable night for him. And off to Irving straight ahead. Bucky Irving, who's playing his best football as the year comes toward the end, across midfield. A nice gain on first down.
Yeah, and to your point, the Heisman race is far from decided. Now, a team that is hot and wins, let's say that's Oregon, and a quarterback like Bo Nix, who continues to play like he has most of the season, he can get right back in the mix.
Second down and 5. Another handoff. Irving again straight ahead, and Bucky Irving gets just enough for an Oregon first down. I don't think we've had a signature, memorable Heisman moment performance. We've had lots of great players in college football this year. Who knows? Maybe tonight could be that night.
Could be tonight. Could be next week.
But you have a built-in story with Bo trying to go on what is clearly a bad right leg. First down, Oregon, all alone in the backfield. He'll throw, and another completion. Hudson again. He's been very involved in the early going, and a nice move to get the first down and more. Out of bounds down to the Utah 26.
I'm curious to see exactly when Utah will start to heat Bo up a little bit and see if they can force him to move and see how good he is on the move.
Well, so far 4 for 4 passing on this first drive of the night.
He's had a clean pocket.
And that's been a theme all year long. Oregon's offensive line has done a great job. Quick release. Hudson again. Another catch for him. Well defended by the Utes this time, just a yard.
Now, defensive coordinator Morgan Scalley, I'm sure, you know, he's a really aggressive guy. He likes to get after the offense, and I'm sure that he's seeing the trend right now that the ball is coming out fast, and they're trying not to move Bo Nix much, and that he'll decide to try to move him some.
Utah's got a player down. That's one of their best defensive players, Cole Bishop. He's going to limp off the field. We'll be back right after this. Well, Tuesday, the exclusive reveal of the next college football playoff rankings. Reese and the guys break them all down from top to bottom. Live interview with committee chairman Boo Corrigan. That comes up 7 Eastern on ESPN and the app on Tuesday. A lot to talk about, and we could see some movement in those. It's been a really wild day of college football. Not all the potential upsets were actually realized, but it's been a very interesting day.
Yeah, had some close ones.
Well, back to action, 2nd and 9. Nix, who's been perfect on this opening drive, had his pass batted up in the air. It falls down incomplete.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete
Yeah, you
pass.
saw the pressure come from the field. And this is Utah deciding, okay, let's find out if he can move. And they heat him up from the field, overload on that side. And you see how Bo Nix can't move his feet. Now, normally he would have slid away from that.
Junior Tafuna, the guy who got through and batted the ball down.
This is a heavy third down blitz team.
And they're showing some pressure. They'll set up the screen. Oregon will. It's a beautiful play call out into the open for a first down. The pass caught by the tailback, Bucky Irving, who went out wide as a wide receiver. First down, Ducks.
Tremendous formation to throw a little wrinkle at Utah with Bucky Irving out wide as a wide receiver and then just cutting back in for the tunnel screen.
Ryan Walk got way out there to make a block on the play. Now Irving gets a handoff, bounces it left. Touchdown, Oregon. What a start for the Ducks.
How about that? How about that? Your quarterback moves around on one leg, goes 6 of 7, leads you down into the red zone, and then Bucky Irving finishes it off with a tremendous cutback on that last play. Little zone play. He saw everything flow into the right and saw that contain on the left side. The backside was gone. Cut back and got 6.
Extra point is up, and it is good. 10 plays, 79 yards, better than 4 minutes against a Utah defense that has been the best in the Pac-12 this year. The Ducks went right down the field.
Yeah, that line is really good. And the right side, watch how they just slide everybody over to the right, and then they managed to make sure they pick up Reed, who was coming inside. And that was the block that Bucky Irving saw, and then decided to cut back. He saw Reed, 21, coming inside, get picked up, and made a tremendous cut.
So the Oregon offense, which has been one of the most explosive, productive offenses in all of college football, and even against a good defense in Utah, at 100%, you figure the Ducks are going to be able to put points on the board. The big question was, were they at 100%? Issues on the offensive line. Bo Nix, obviously the big injury, but he's on the field, and Oregon's got the first 7 of the game.
Maybe Nix at 70% is all right. I mean, he hasn't had to run yet, so he just got rid of the ball quickly and let his guys do their thing, and they all made defenders miss.
He sure looked more than all right on that first drive.
Yeah.
So now Utah back deep to receive. Already a better start for Oregon than in either of those 2 matchups last year against Utah. The kickoff will be taken a fair catch signal, so Utah's offense will come out on the field, and they'll start at the 25-yard line. And their quarterback, who's one of the best in college football, Cam Rising, unlike Bo Nix coming into this game, Cam Rising's as healthy as he's been in several weeks. He's a guy who's got a really terrific story. He started out at Texas, redshirted there, then transferred, was not the beneficiary of all the new transfer rules. We had to sit out a year. He was hurt early in 2020, took charge last year, led the Utes to a Rose Bowl season. He and Utah would love a second crack in Pasadena this year. They've got a chance to get there as Rising's on the field for the first time. The straight ahead run for Tavion Thomas on first down, and that's been a big story for Utah. Tavion Thomas these last couple weeks, especially last week, finally back to himself.
Tavion Thomas had 20 carries in week 1 against Florida, and then did not get 20 touches again until last week, week 11 against Stanford, and got 180 yards. And with him back at that level, it's the bully kind of offense that Utah wants to play.
Been a very trying year for Tavion Thomas, off the field, on the field, after a magical year last year where Thomas was one of the best running backs in the country. Play clock all the way down to 2. They get the ball snapped. Thomas gets another carry and pushes his way forward, and that's what he does. There was a crease for a couple yards. He ends up getting 5, maybe 6. Noah Sewell with the tackle.
He's a 240-pound back. You mentioned last season, more than 1,000 yards rushing. This year has not been close to that, just slightly more than half that this year for him. And, he missed a game and had some struggles. He had a death in the family. He lost his aunt, who was the one who really raised him, and that really impacted him.
He's off the field for this play. Jaquindon Jackson in the game, a Thomas-like power runner, and you can see it there. Power football from Jackson, close to the first down, maybe stopped a half yard short. Just like Cam Rising, Jackson, who started his college career at Texas, was a Longhorn, transferred to Utah. Quick tempo. They gave him the first down. Play action for Rising. In the pocket, a pump fake. Rising on the move, will throw into traffic, knocked down, incomplete, and almost intercepted by Jamal Hill.
Yeah, he forced that one. There was no room to get that ball in at all along the sideline. Thought he was going to throw it away, and he tried to squeeze it, and Hill was right there, almost like the intended receiver. Watch how Hill manages to play this. He is right there, almost came up with that.
As good as Cam Rising has been, and he's been great, his numbers away from Salt Lake City are a lot different than his numbers at home.
That's interesting.
Rising takes the shotgun snap, throws, and he'll complete that pass to his excellent All-American style tight end Dalton Kincaid. Well short of the first down. Let's go down to Tiffany.
Hey guys, Cam Rising came into this game and this season with a big boost after attending the Manning passing camp this year. He said it was awesome to be around the GOATs. And offensive coordinator Andy Ludwig said you could see the impact it had on him. He said being around the Manning family talking football, that Cam came back with a jolt, that he was fired up, and they were fired up for him, guys.
Loud at Autzen. 3rd and 6. Rising's going to throw, and he's going to have to throw on the move. He hits his man across the middle. That's Kincaid again, first down and much more. What a year for Dalton Kincaid.
I wonder about your comment about his numbers on the road, and if that is a crowd thing that impacts him at all. And Autzen is a place that gets pretty loud. You know, he does a really nice job here of just buying a little time and finding Kincaid to get that first down. But if we thought it was loud just a minute ago, as he gets closer to this end zone where the band is and the fans are, it's going to get louder.
A pitch play, Jalen Dixon, almost like a jet sweep, and he got the corner with all his speed. That's been a part of this Utah offense as the season's gone on. First down run for the wide receiver, Jalen Dixon.
As much as we talk about how Utah likes to pound you and use Tavion Thomas, they do like the big play. And they'll use some guys on the outside. Dixon is one of them. But Vele, the 6'5" wide receiver, he is the guy who tends to make the big plays for them. And down here in this red zone, you've got 2 former basketball players, Kincaid and Vele, that they can use down here in the end zone.
And it does technically count as a pass, that last play, because Rising pitched it forward. So the Utes on the move, trying to tie the game up. Rising will throw back toward the middle. That's Devon Vele, his first catch of the night.
Tall receivers who are athletic with Vele, and you know, Kincaid, we talk about him as a tight end, but he can line up in the slot and play as a wide receiver.
Dalton Kincaid came into this game 50 catches, 7 touchdowns. Utah's as healthy as they've been maybe all year, but they still are without their star tight end, Brant Keithy. What a 1-2 combo. Without Keithy, Kincaid has stepped up and played even better. High snap, Rising takes it in. Here's Vele. Vele to the corner, but 2 penalty flags thrown, and I think that's going against Utah. The receiver out there, in fact, 3 flags, all in the same area.
Yeah, I think it was Enos in his block. I think he tried a cut block out there.
That could be
Holding.
A big penalty.
Offense number 21. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay second down.
Just a hold, still a big penalty.
Yeah, big penalty. There he is, right in the middle of your screen there. Yeah, you know, that's a takedown. That's a complete takedown. Easy call.
Would have been 1st and goal at the 3 without that penalty. It's 2nd and call it 11 from right about the 20-yard line.
And remember, Cam Rising is a dual threat guy. He has not run the ball much in the last few weeks, but he is very capable.
We asked Utah. He's healthy enough this week. The full complement of plays is there for Rising. That's a drop. Pass was there. Vele dropped it. It'll be 3rd down. The Utes don't like to kick field goals. Dan Lanning, defensive-minded head coach.
Now, how does Oregon play it? Their best cover guy is Gonzalez. I would expect to see him matched up with Vele, and he is in the slot. That is a heck of a matchup. A great corner and a big-time receiver.
Bernard motion back in the backfield. Here comes pressure. Rising heaves it up. Rising pass is out of bounds, incomplete. I think the receiver, Money Parks, actually did catch the ball and hang on, but he's out of bounds. It's 4th down. Penalty was huge in that sequence.
Yeah, Utah ran a bit of a pick play up there to try to free up Vele, but there was the look deep. No, he actually didn't catch it. Did not catch it at all. "38-yard try here for Jaden Redding. His kick is up, and he hooked it. No good. Long drive for Utah. No points for the Utes. They don't like to attempt field goals, and that's why. Oh, that's not going to make Kyle Whittingham too happy. He has really changed over the years from being a guy who would be a little conservative and kick field goals. See him shaking his head. I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, the field goal kicking for Utah this year hasn't been great. All right, we welcome those of you. What a scene in Columbia, South Carolina. Those of you joining us from that incredible win for the Gamecocks. Utah, the big story here tonight. Great matchup here at Autzen. Bo Nix is playing, and he's playing well through one drive. He hits his tight end Terrence Ferguson on the first play of this drive. Huge question looming over this game. Bo Nix, who's been one of the best players in the country this year, was he going to be able to go? Right leg, we think ankle injury. He warmed up. He started the game and marched the Ducks right down the field for a touchdown.
Yeah, he started out 6 of 6 and 6 of 7 on that drive for the touchdown. Gets rid of the ball quickly, has not moved around an awful lot, has not run the ball.
A perfect delivery here for a nice gain on 2nd down. That's Troy Franklin, who's emerged as a star at the wideout spot for Oregon. It's 3rd down. Utah, meanwhile, first time they had the ball just moments ago, went all the way down the field. Big penalty in the red zone against the Utes. And on 4th down, tried a field goal, missed the field goal. So it's 7-0 with 5:08 and the clock running to go here in the first quarter from Autzen.
And the game plan for Oregon early on, clearly let Nix get the ball out quickly, and Utah will try and force him to move around, see if he's mobile enough tonight.
3rd and 3, and Oregon's going to call a timeout.
Timeout, Oregon, their first of the half. Timeout on the field.
So the timeout, Bo Nix and the Ducks on the field, and we'll be back to Autzen right after this.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. And in part by Burger King.
Well, last year, that's a big part of the story coming into tonight. Utah and Oregon played twice in the span of 13 days. Regular season in Salt Lake City, Pac-12 championship game in Las Vegas. Utah dominated both of those games every way you can dominate. On the scoreboard, on the stat sheet. They pounded the ball and really bullied Oregon twice in a row. Games that were over essentially at halftime.
Yeah, they were both done at halftime.
And I know it's early here tonight as we come back from the timeout. 3rd and 3 Ducks, but it looks like a different story here in 2022. Nix delivers, and the pass is knocked down, incomplete. Another good play on the ball by Clark Phillips. What a year he's having as a DB for Utah.
Yeah, he is an all-conference, all-American candidate. 5 picks already. I was excited about tonight to see 2 absolutely fantastic corners play. Phillips on one side, Gonzalez on the other. You saw the left hand on the back of the body. Some people see that as pass interference, but look, officials always say, they always tell me, you can have your hand on the receiver as long as you don't restrict or turn him.
That might be interference, and I think it's going to be. Here comes a penalty flag. Vele receives the punt from Adam Berry, and an Oregon player ran into him. That looks like Dante Manning on the special teams.
Interference with the opportunity to catch a kick. Kicking team number 89. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It's 1st and 10.
That's going to move Utah into, around midfield. Gives them a short field.
So 15-yard penalty. Utah is going to have good field position across midfield, as you say, at the Oregon 49. 4:36 to go, first quarter. Ducks got the ball first. Utah won the toss, deferred. Bo Nix with a big play to Chris Hudson, who was very involved in that first drive, and then the touchdown run. Bucky Irving took it into the end zone for Oregon. Utah marched down the field, didn't put points on the board first time they had it. Now their second drive, and Tavion Thomas slipped on the turf.
Yeah, he just lost his footing there. It'll be interesting to see how much they feature him early on. Again, he had 20+ carries last week. That was the first time in a couple of months that he had that many carries. But they do believe they are a confident, more physical team than Oregon.
Thomas comes off the field. It's slipping. We'll keep an eye on that. It's very humid. It's cold, but it could be wet down on that artificial surface. The quick pass out to Money Parks on the right side for a second down gain. Still 4 or 5 yards short of the first down.
Yeah, it was a little slick on the field when we were down there before the game, but mostly more towards the sidelines than the middle of the field. Now you're in 4-down territory.
I believe you're right. Thomas comes back on the field, and that may be exactly why. You got 4 yards and 2 plays to get it. Tavion Thomas could be getting the ball here. Kincaid will motion in as the tight end. Rising. Fakes it to Thomas, throws it to Kincaid, coming across the formation. That's a Utah first down, and Kincaid tough to bring down. What a player.
How about that formation and all the movement? You start with a bunch formation, a tight formation, bring the tight end across, and there's no way for the linebackers or safety to track him across that.
We talked about Dalton Kincaid with the Utah coaches a lot last night, and we've known about Dalton. He's been a good player for 2 years now. But Kyle Whittingham said he might be the best athlete who has come through the program since he's been there. I mean, think about that. Yeah. Overall athlete. Rising throws. He threw it behind Kincaid. Incomplete, knocked away. Not a very good pass that time from Cam Rising.
Now, Rising has pretty much indicated to Utah that this is his last season, although he has eligibility left. He plans to make himself available to the NFL draft, and scouts have fallen in love with him this year. He's a tough, gritty player. Good throws, above average arm strength.
Comes under center on 2nd and 10. Thomas gets the handoff, just kind of picking his way forward down to the 25, close to the 24.
Curious to see how Oregon plays this defensively on the back end down here. They have a tendency to play man in this area of the field. Sometimes it's a match man, but they like to be a little bit more aggressive here. And again, the matchups, you've got 2 tall receivers in Kincaid and Vele. How do they match up with them? We got Gonzalez and Vele at the bottom of the screen. Another great matchup.
Rising again under center. Is going to hand it off. Thomas met in the backfield and dropped. Casey Rogers was there, wrestling him to the ground, a loss. And Utah now, I think they're sending the field goal team out there because of that play.
What were we talking about? Physicality and the confidence in Utah being the more physical team. How about this right here? And Casey Rogers just drove back Miley completely into the backfield and made the play.
Now Rogers, one of the 18 players who went through the senior night ceremonies before the game. This is a 45-yard try for Jaden Redding, who missed from 38 yards. First time Utah had the ball. This kick on the way, and it is good, just barely. Just enough.
Just enough. I'm still impressed, though. I think Oregon has said, oh, yeah, last year, physicality, we're tired of that noise. We're showing up, and we're stopped. Utah here, let them kick the field goal. We're all right with that.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Geico. It's just kind of the perfect late fall night here in Eugene. 33 degrees at kickoff time. And the Oregon Ducks with a 7-3 first quarter lead, 1:09 to go over the number 10 ranked Utah Utes. Massive night of football in the Pac-12 with championship implications down at the Rose Bowl, up in Seattle and here in Eugene. The kickoff botched by Hudson, who sort of fumbled it forward, picked it up, and kept running. Good Lord, that's not exactly how the Ducks would have designed it. Hudson, though, maintains possession. Oregon's offense would come on the field here. Well, tomorrow, Sunday NFL Countdown, all access with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. You got Justin Jefferson, the game's great receivers, breaking down the art of the one-handed catch. He sure had a good one last week. 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN and the app. Then Monday Night Football, big game in the NFC West. Mexico City will be the host site. Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals at Estadio Azteca. Monday Night Countdown gets it started at 6 Eastern on ESPN and the app. So Oregon with the ball. Bo Nix swings it out to Hudson. Really involved in the passing game here in the early going. Was he at 5 catches already in this first quarter?
Yeah, and the quick throws, the quick release has negated Utah's ability to pressure. And so now this last down they showed you some fake blitz, and they're dropping and trying to take away the short throws.
I guess Hudson's not in the doghouse with his head coach. Hudson was the guy who sort of leaked out that he thought Bo Nix, and it could be just it was a misunderstanding, but Hudson had some comments midweek that indicated that Bo Nix was not going to play. Nix now vacates the backfield, and that play did not go well. False start for Oregon. They snapped it directly to Irving, but a penalty.
False start. Offense number 56. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
The point is that I don't think the Oregon coaches were all that happy with Chris Hudson.
Think they were pretty clear they weren't happy with that comment. But from their perspective, it was always going to be a game time decision on Nix, and having a player say midweek, think he's down, next man up, didn't make them very happy.
It's 2 false starts already against Oregon. Again, without their starting center, maybe their most important offensive lineman in terms of getting everybody organized, making the calls. Alex Forsyth had his pads on. Now
That's
Oregon
the end of the first quarter.
We'll watch the final seconds tick off the clock before they snap the ball. That's the end of the first quarter. So it's 7-3 Oregon. Bo Nix is out there and he's playing well, even if he's not 100%. The Ducks on senior night at Autzen, trying to beat Utah 7-3 at the end of quarter number 1. We start the second quarter in Eugene. It's our player spotlight, brought to you by Royal Caribbean. Rod, you're a former DB. You love a couple guys on the field here tonight.
Yeah, it's a treat to be able to watch 2 of the best corners in the country conference also play on the same field tonight. Clark Phillips, Christian Gonzalez, they will both be NFL cornerbacks. Christian Gonzalez is the taller, longer guy, which is probably why he's rated a little higher. But they're both excellent man-to-man cover guys, great skills, great ball skills. They're going to have some good matchups tonight.
Oregon's offense on the field. Nix completes another pass to Hudson, but this one going backwards. So Hudson with another catch, but he loses yards on second and long, lost 3. It's going to be third and about 16.
Yeah, you've seen the adjustment for Utah this series. They weren't getting home earlier in the game with their pressures, so they've only simulated pressure now and then dropped for the short passes. They recognize that Oregon's not attacking them deep down the field, and Bo Nix is not running the ball right now.
So it's 3rd and 17. Nix all alone in the backfield. Takes the snap. Steps up and throws across the middle. He's got the pass complete for a first down. Dante Thornton still going. Now the ball comes out at the end of the play, right near midfield, and Utah pounces on it. So Oregon converts on 3rd and long, but the ball comes out.
What a crazy series there. And this was the toughest throw for Bo Nix because he had to hang in there. But that ball gets stripped away from Thornton at midfield. Now, there was also a Utah player who went down temporarily. It looked like that was number 8.
Well, he's already been hurt, Cole Bishop, in this game, so I think he's just got something lingering. Zamaya Vaughn is the guy who ripped it out, and Bishop is the guy who came away with it. So Zamaya Vaughn, another good cornerback for Utah, forces the turnover. Oregon has not fumbled it very often this year. Rising's pass tipped up, and that's intercepted. The very first play after the Oregon turnover, the Utes give it back.
I think that was Bennett Williams who went up and got it.
It is.
My, oh my. Back-to-back takeaways. It's just a ball with a little heat on it over the middle. Those have a tendency to get popped up in the air. It gets knocked up right away. It looked like that was Riley, 91, who got a paw on it. And now it's just a jump ball. And what a tremendous job by Justin Flo to take down one of the possible receivers so he couldn't make an attempt on the ball.
You're allowed to do that once the ball gets tipped. Anything goes, basically.
That was a really smart play by Justin Flo.
It was. He just tackled Dalton Kincaid. So how about that? Oregon gets the ball right back. Noah Whittington in a tailback for the first time. Noah Whittington is spun down around midfield, a gain of 2. Whittington, who very famously slipped on the 4th down play near the end of the game, gave Washington a chance to kick what turned out to be the winning field goal in a very disappointing Ducks loss. I mean, he's had a really good year, though, Noah Whittington.
That tandem, those two backs, they've been pretty outstanding, Irving and Whittington. We've not seen Bo Nix move 5 yards in either direction.
In the pocket, throws across the middle. That's incomplete and no flag. Franklin wanted a flag. He thought he was held.
You know, each week when we talk to the officials, they emphasize, look, we're going to let those guys play unless there is a severe restriction and one guy gets an advantage.
That looked like a restriction to me.
You're the left hand down low. Again, if you are going to hold a guy, the hand down low is the place to do it because it's harder to tell if you are slowing a guy down or restricting him.
The art of getting away with a hold.
And the one up around the shoulder is easy to call.
So now it's 3rd down and 8. And Nix is going to burn another
timeout.
timeout.
Delay a game, timeout, Oregon.
Once again, that play clock was winding down. So that's been an issue for the Ducks here in the first half. 7-3 Oregon, timeout on the field. We'll be back to Eugene right after this.
Third down 8 at the 50.
Wow. So a very different style, equally important game in the Pac-12 down at the Rose Bowl. We'll keep you posted on 3rd down. Nix hits Thornton on the outside, turns it upfield and gets the first down and hangs on to the ball this time. Dante Thornton, what a move.
Listen, Kenny Dillingham, the offensive coordinator, has done a masterful job tonight. He's gotten his receivers out in space and had them run, you know, a little block here, a little screen here, and taken all the pressure off of Bo Nix. He doesn't have to move. He just has to get the ball out. And Utah loves to blitz. And Utah has not been able to get anywhere near Nix.
Well, Dante Thornton with the nice catch and run. Nix on 3rd down, 4 of 5 already in this game. Whittington gets the carry left side and he scores through. Bounces off a would-be tackler down inside the 20. Finally, Correne Reed wrestles him down. What a run for Noah Whittington.
Whittington lowered the shoulders and lowered the boom. Not the tallest guy in the world, only goes at about 5'8", 5'7", and is powerful at 200 pounds.
And look, Travis Dye was a great player here, but Bucky Irving and Noah Whittington, a little different style run. It's a little more power football in the run game this year for the Ducks.
Agreed.
Whittington stays on the field on 1st and 10. Oregon ahead 7-3. Bo Nix very questionable coming in, playing tonight and playing well. Play clock winding down again. They get it snapped. Whittington with the carry straight ahead. Burst through a hole inside the 10. Another run of more than 10. 1st and goal, Ducks.
Ryan Walk has moved over to center for Alex Forsythe, who's out, and he just got a tremendous block on that play. Right in the middle of the screen, has a good block to open up that hole. That A gap was huge.
And I love his story. He's playing his senior night game. He's from Eugene, local kid, began as a walk-on, and he's turned into one of the better offensive linemen in the Pac-12.
Part of an offensive line that's up for the award for the best offensive line in the country.
Play fake for Nix. He'll throw toward the corner. It is incomplete. Phillips there with the coverage. Knocked it away and maybe helped knock Hudson down. It'll be 2nd and goal.
How about that makeup speed, that catch-up speed with Phillips? Never gave up and made it difficult for the receiver. Never looked back for the ball until he got there. Well, he actually didn't look back at all. Didn't look back at all. Usually you will get flagged if you don't get your head turned around.
It was close to contact as the ball was arriving. But no flag. 2nd and goal, Oregon.
But you know, a lot of defensive backs will look back when they're beaten to see if the ball is coming. You know, kind of praying that it's not on the way.
Handoff Whittington straight ahead. Noah Whittington inside the 5 down to about the 3 where it'll be 3rd and goal.
And the thing missing in the Oregon offense down here is the quarterback run game.
And Nick's 14 rushing touchdowns this year. 14 of them.
Yeah, and that threat is not there. Now maybe he's got one in him tonight. Maybe this is the time you pull it out or you save it for later. But he hasn't carried the ball at all tonight. Hasn't even been close.
Yeah, just a pure guess. I'm thinking that trend is going to continue.
I would agree.
2 receivers right, 1 left on 3rd and goal. Nix in the shotgun, Whittington alongside. And he will fake it and then throw it to the end zone. Caught, touchdown, Franklin. Beautiful ball handling there from Nix. And then he finds the guy who's been his favorite target. Another touchdown, the 7th of the year for Troy Franklin.
When was the last time we saw a quarterback play on one leg and make play after play? I mean, this throw is phenomenal. And he's going to his left, and he couldn't even use his right leg, his right ankle. And he flipped that out there on his left leg.
This is a gutting it out performance here in the first half with a long way to go, but what a game so far for Nix and the Oregon offense. Extra point up and good. The Ducks with a 14-3 lead.
Nothing like takeaways and getting points off of takeaways. Bennett Williams getting it going, and oh my goodness, anything gutsier than that throw today? I don't think so.
ESPN College Football, presented by Geico, is brought to you by Goodyear. Discover the possibilities. Goodyear, more driven.
18 different seniors went through senior night ceremonies, including the quarterback Bo Nix, who is playing. The center Alex Forsythe, you feel bad for him. He's had a great Oregon career, suited up but can't play. Not a guarantee that all those players will be gone at the end of this year, but 18 of them went through their senior night ceremonies, and so far so good on this senior night for Oregon. A huge, massive difference between their performances last year against Utah and the start of this game tonight. 2nd quarter, and the Ducks have a 14-3 lead.
Oregon has been the more physical team tonight.
Kickoff will bounce into the end zone. That's a touchback, and we'll check in studio with Kevin Connors. Yeah, incredible.
That takes Tennessee out of the playoff mix.
It's big for the Pac-12. Now we've had a chaotic year in the Pac-12. Really good year. Handoff on first down. Tavion Thomas powers his way out to the 21-yard line. Mace Funa led the way with the tackle for Oregon.
Yeah, he ran behind Braden Daniels over there, and Daniels is a good guy to run behind. He's also an all-conference kind of tackle out there at 300 pounds, and you get a 240-pounder behind him, it's a problem.
So it's 2nd and 4. Rising under center. He loves to change things at the line of scrimmage. Big part of who he is. A little harder when you're playing at Autzen. Thomas to the corner and then pushes forward. Got shoved out of bounds short by a yard or two. Let's go down to Tiffany.
Hey guys, well, you mentioned Braden Daniels and Tavion Thomas. Well, I talked to Braden this week, and he told me with Tavion, he said, I think his size 6'2", 238, and his approach to the line, when it's 28 degrees outside and the wind's blowing a little bit, he said you don't really want to run up against that.
Yeah, you don't want to tackle that. You don't want to do it when it's warm. It's even more trouble when it's cold. He should get the ball here too.
Kincaid, the tight end, comes to the line of scrimmage. And they will hand it off to Thomas, who made one man miss and got close, then got pushed backwards. I think forward progress is going to give him a first down. Real close. Christian Gonzalez, that DB you were spotlighting, Ron, was in on the play.
Yeah, Gonzalez is a willing tackler. A lot of corners don't want to get that involved, but there you see 0 in the middle of all that.
But again, I think even though they do give Utah the first down, it has to be encouraging for Oregon.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, they are not getting pushed around in this game, not at all.
They've been the more physical team.
Under 9 minutes to go first half. Another carry for Thomas. He'll get through that line of scrimmage out to the 39, gain of 4.
You know, we started talking about Thomas's story earlier about how this was a difficult season. He lost his Aunt Renee Thomas, who was really the woman who raised him. He considered her his mother, and he was really devastated, had a really difficult time. Got some help from his high school coach, Denard Powell, who came to visit him, spend some time with him, and that helped out a lot. And he's been kind of back on track then. Also got some help from the legendary Utah running backs of Jamal Anderson and Zach Moss.
For a potential targeting foul.
Okay, so we have a targeting review coming up here after that gain of 4. Dan Lanning trying to get his defense over to have a chat while they review.
Yeah, so this was called from the booth, not on the field.
The head coach is a little fiery right now.
Yeah, let's see what we've got here. All right, so it's not a defenseless player because you've got a running back. So the only issue is whether there was leading with the crown of the helmet.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't either. I think there's a lot of shoulder there. So the question really is, you know, you've got to have forcible contact to the head and neck area, and you have to lead with the helmet.
Yeah, to me, that's not the spirit of targeting. I think that shoulder was turned enough.
Yeah, you need an indicator. He's already trying to make a tackle. He's lowered himself to make the tackle, leading with his shoulder. I don't think that's targeting.
I mean, I really hate to play official in these spots because it can be unpredictable. But to me, if I'm making the decision, that's not targeting.
Yeah, you just go through the factors. There's got to be some intent with the notion of having an indicator.
So Jamal Hill, who's a starting safety on this team, and he's the player whose status for the rest of this game is in question here. And Dan Lanning, we talked to Dan obviously yesterday leading into this game. It's been a wildly successful first year for the youngest head coach in Power 5 football. He was a little edgy yesterday after everything that happened last week.
Yeah.
The questions about his starting quarterback.
Well, there were questions about starting quarterback. There were questions about the onside kick in the first half. There were questions about the 4th down decision to go for it with 4th and 2 in his own territory, and they didn't get it, and that set up Washington's game-winning field goal. So, yeah, he's a little edgy yesterday because it basically was the first time all season that he's had a lot of questions and been critiqued by the media.
After review, personal foul, targeting with the crown of the helmet, defense number 19. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Number 19 is disqualified.
Wow.
Now, new this year, you can appeal to the conference and have it reviewed. And I would assume that Oregon would do that, because if you're Oregon, you want him back next week. Well, he'd be back next week anyway. This is the first half.
Yeah. So he's out for the rest of this game. You can't appeal for the second half. I don't know about that. Bad break for Utah. The penalty moves Utah, or bad break for Oregon. Penalty moves Utah into Ducks territory. Little pistol formation. Jackson, the tailback, gets the carry from Rising, and he gets 10 yards for a Utah first down.
There hasn't been any flow to the Utah offense yet. You know, we've had Tavion Thomas stopped. He picks up a few yards. We haven't seen Rising run with the ball yet.
Yeah, I would say the only flow that first drive, and it got interrupted by the penalty. There was a big penalty. It was going to be 1st and goal Utah at the 3. Jackson stays in at tailback, and he did not quite get all the way to the first down spot, so it's 2nd and a half a yard. Jackson made a man miss. That was a nice run. He'll only get credit for 3 yards or so, maybe 4. That was a good run.
Yeah, Brandon Dorlus had him in the backfield and just missed him. You know,
it's been a theme for the Ducks. Chance to make sacks, make tackles behind the line of scrimmage, and an inability to finish the play defensively.
It's been an issue for them, and this is getting into their territory where, you know, Utah is really good in the red zone. They're not quite in the red zone yet, but they are afraid to have a trick play or two when they get close to it, or to take a shot.
Mekhi Bernard, now the tailback. Rising's going to throw on first down, steps up, and he will square those shoulders. Pass knocked down again. Casey Rogers got his hand on the ball.
Yeah, really good coverage on the back end by Oregon. Now, a lot of teams, they've tried to target Bennett Williams, the safety, sometimes nickelback, number 4 on the back end, but he's played well today. Had trouble last week against Washington, gave him a couple of big plays. But Utah has not been able to target him down here as much as they probably would want to.
Kincaid came in motion. They hand the ball off. Thomas drilled in the backfield. No problem. Noah Sewell finishing off that play. What a tackle, a loss of 4.
Oh, he diagnosed that one immediately and just shot through an opening. Just see number 1 right there. No one gets a hand on him because he diagnosed it so quickly and came on in. Keaton Bills, 51, the left guard, tried to get a hand on him, but it's too late.
A to B explosion. That's how Dan Lanning describes Noah Sewell. Nobody on the Oregon team better at that than he is. 3rd and long. Rising. Scrambling. Still looking downfield. Trying to buy more time. Now he takes off and he gets shoved to the ground. Nice play by Mace Funa pursuing.
Nowhere to go with the football. A really good disguise by Oregon. They showed pre-snap a 2-deep coverage and then rotated into a 3-deep coverage with 5 players underneath.
And Utah's not taking the offense off the field, even though it's 4th and 10 inside the 35 at the 33. Utah is going to go for it.
You think Whittingham sort of feels like he might have used up his luck on that last field goal? That one barely got across the bar.
I have a feeling Utah is going to have to use a timeout here. Play clock winding down.
I don't think they can make a field goal from here.
They will call timeout. Loud, little indecision. Utes facing 4th down. Timeout at Autzen. Back right after this. So we know one of the two teams. Massive win for USC. What a night for Pac-12 football. The next two in line playing a head-to-head here at Autzen, and out of the timeout, Utah going for it on 4th down. Cam Rising throws. Kincaid with a catch and the spin, and he gets the first down. Another big play from Dalton Kincaid.
How about the timing on that? Rising got the ball out on perfect timing, didn't have to worry about pressure. 1, 2, 3, it is out and right in the perfect spot, and you had Kincaid come back for the ball to make sure that it wouldn't get broken up, and then picked up the first down.
I know you got Brock Bowers and you have Michael Mayer, and those two are great players. Dalton Kincaid is right there with them.
He's outstanding.
He's that good. 1st and 10 Utah. Rising, pressured again. Rising now taken off, and Cam Rising will go out of bounds inside the 15. And I think that is an indication, that small little play there, he is healthier this week than he has been.
Yeah, they really haven't used him in the running game since the USC game weeks ago. And this front for Oregon is getting some pressure on him, and he's being forced to scramble.
12th play of the drive coming here for Rising in Utah, trying to get in the end zone for the first time. 6+ minute drive. Rising takes a snap, hands it off. No, kept it, and Rising hurdles over a would-be tackler and gets right there, I think. Let's see where they spot him. Triquez Bridges came in to trip him up.
Yeah, we've been expecting it all night to get him back involved in the rushing game.
And I guess I mean, that is really close, but they say short by a few inches.
And here comes Thomas the Tank. They go number 9.
Now Oregon has had some success on these plays getting into the backfield.
Low man wins down here.
Big against big. Rising under center. Handoff Thomas. Thomas didn't get there again. Penetration from that Ducks defensive line. What a first half for Casey Rogers.
And they guessed correctly. They slanted to the right and got the penetration and got in the backfield. Sometimes those tendencies show up and you guess right. There was a slant. You see going to the right, Casey Rogers' first movement that way. Now a 4th down. I got to believe if you are Utah, you're thinking matchups down here. Who can you get in the slot matched up on a safety?
Casey Rogers having a whale of a first half. Huge play here. 4th and 3. Rising throws toward the end zone. Some contact. No flag. Incomplete.
I love the fact that the officials are treating it the same both ways. They're letting the corners play. There's some mutual combat going on, and they're letting it work for Clark Phillips when Utah's on defense, and it's working for Gonzo when Oregon's on defense.
I think Utah had a man open on that play. Rising couldn't find him. Incomplete. Ducks take over, leading 14-3.
Let's go back to that 4th down play that Utah did not convert, and that matchup with Gonzalez on Kincaid inside. That is where Rising is looking, and that is a tough matchup. And what he needed to do was come off of that and find his man Parks all alone at the 1st down marker, but he was focused on Kincaid.
So the first play of Oregon's drive, Monteval, the tight end from Bo Nix for a gain of close to 7.
Let me ask you this. Why not try the field goal?
That's a fair question. The kicking game has been so erratic for Utah. I don't think from any distance Kyle Whittingham is feeling like it's an automatic make. He's already missed one from, what, 38 yards in this first half. Whittington gets the carry on 2nd down. That's a fair question. Utah's had 2 long drives now in this first half. That last one was 8 minutes long. 2 long drives where they've come away with nothing.
Yeah. Well, the one thing about that is it's a short field goal. But Whittingham told us yesterday he has supreme confidence in Cam Rising and 4th downs with him, and that may have been the reason for the decision, but you could have made it a 1-score game.
Play fake. Nix is going to throw deep left side, and the pass is caught by Thornton. Dragged down inside the 25. Perfect delivery from Bo Nix.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Seriously?
58 yards. He can't even run down the field to get to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. He's not run more than about 50% at all tonight. And he laid that one out there perfectly for Thornton. Thornton had a big one last week, too. Man, oh, man.
Oregon felt like there were some big plays available out there. Bucky Irving makes a tackler miss and fights to try to get back to the line of scrimmage. Clock is moving. We're down to 1:10 to go in this first half.
I just don't think people realize how hard this is, what he's doing here, because he's right-handed and he's trying to push off of that right leg, that right ankle. He can't do it, and he's still dropping dimes.
I mean, this has a chance to be a legendary night for number 10. He's had a legendary kind of year. He sings that one across the middle, and that is caught by Chris Hudson. Close to a first down. Clock moving. Oregon has just the one timeout. We're under a minute to go now, under 40 seconds to go.
At this point, you feel like you have points in your pocket if you're landing at least a 3-point kick that you have.
3rd and 1. Nix is going to get away, fling it up, and it's incomplete. Well, he avoided the sack. Now it's 4th down and 1, and we'll see if the field goal unit comes on with only 22 seconds on the clock.
Well, I would think so. I mean, this is sort of a gimme if you are Oregon. You didn't expect to be down here, and you can have 3 more points. If you miss this 4th and 1 and you don't get it, those are 3 points you might be able to use later.
Pretty spirited look from Bo Nix there. Unhappy with the way that last play went down.
Look, if Bo Nix were 100% healthy, I'd say go for it here, because you'd have the threat of his legs.
Well, 4th down decision last week was the key moment of that game. I think Utah's going to use its final timeout.
30 seconds.
So 22 seconds on the clock. 14-3. Decision coming up for the Ducks. Let's get a quick check in studio again with Kevin. All right, Kevin, thanks very much. Can't wait for that. Lot to talk about and digest. Crazy day in college football. And what a first half for Bo Nix and the Ducks on 4th and 1. The offense is staying on the field with 22 seconds and no timeouts. An amazing turnaround. And I say the offense is staying on the field, but it's not.
Yeah.
Bo Nix is staying on the sideline, and the field goal kicker now is coming on the field.
Yeah, that's the right decision. It's a smart decision. Take the points that you didn't expect to get here right before half.
30-yard try for Camden Lewis, who's been very solid for Oregon this year. Good snap and hold, and the kick is up, and it is good. So the long pass play, the big play of that drive after Oregon stopped Utah inside the red zone on 4th down. The Ducks turned it into 3 points. 18 seconds to go until halftime. It's 17-3.
Well, Kenny Dillingham has done a remarkable job orchestrating this offense for Oregon. He's had Bo Nix get the ball out quickly. He hasn't had to take any hits. He hasn't had to move around much. He's sprinkled in a little bit of the run game. And then he's taken shots on early downs against man coverage and came up with a big one with Thornton there.
17 first half push-ups for the Duck. And 245 total yards in this first half for Oregon.
Some pretty buff Duck. You know who's equally stunned by this? Dan Lanning. On the field before the game, he was absolutely certain that if Nix could go, he was going to have to get Ty Thomas in there a lot anyway. He was planning that he would play 2 quarterbacks. He wasn't sure what Nix could do. He can't be he has to be shocked that he's played the entire first half.
Well, and I will say, I think Coach Lanning, look, he's so young. He's going through this for the first time as a head coach. Everything that was swirling around after last week, and I did think he was a little on edge yesterday. He had his team absolutely ready to play tonight. A low line drive kickoff, and it'll bounce into the end zone. Utah's got 2 timeouts, only 18 seconds. We'll see if they're aggressive or not. Our college football rankings brought to you by Chick-fil-A, and the playoff rankings 1, 2, 3, 4. There were not a lot of relaxed moments for any of those 4 teams today.
You know, but think about Tuesday night. USC is going to jump up to probably number 5. They should be ahead of a 2-loss LSU team. Tennessee's going to fall. And then USC can sit back a little bit and see what happens next weekend, assuming that they handle Notre Dame.
Yeah, which is probably not a safe assumption. Notre Dame's playing really well. But I think USC and the Pac-12 may now control their own destiny for the playoff. That may be the case.
I think you're right.
This game is going to go a long way toward determining who USC will play in the Pac-12 championship game. They're in. We know the Trojans are in.
It's late November, and we're talking playoff in Rose Bowl with the Pac-12. Come on, man.
That's pretty
amazing.
Cool. What a night for the conference. So we will step aside. It's halftime here at Autzen. 17-3 Ducks. The Nissan halftime report coming up after the break. Well, welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Geico on this cold November night at Autzen in Eugene. What a first half for the Ducks. Kyle Whittingham's Utah Utes, they got some work to do. 17-3 as we start the third quarter here at Autzen. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore back with you. And Rod, Bo Nix has a chance to be a night that they're never going to forget here in Eugene, considering the way he's playing.
Now, he's been unbelievable. Can't really move, yet he's been really effective from the pocket. You know, a deep throw, the short throws. He's been on the money. Hasn't run the football, hasn't had to, playing on one leg. And on the other side, Cam Rising hasn't had a great half. And Cam Rising is going to have a better second half. Got a pick there, and then a bad throw down here in the red zone, maybe a poor choice as well. But he's only 8 of 15 in this ball game so far. So Utah really needs some things to pick up in the second half offensively.
Our first half stats brought to you by Downey Unstoppables. You have 245 yards to 134 total yards. Really almost like the opposite of the matchups these two teams had at the end of last year when Utah pushed Oregon all the way around. And Rod, as we get ready to start the third quarter, Utah's going to get the ball first. What has to change for the Utes?
Well, first of all, Oregon has been the more physical team. You know, from last year, they've made a complete switch. For Utah offensively, Bailey has been missing in action. They haven't been able to do anything with him, and Cam Rising has to play better. He's been affected in the pocket more by that front than we expected. They haven't sacked him, but they've been after him, so they got to get him settled, and Bailey has to be involved and make some catches for them.
And you do have to credit the Ducks for being ready for the physicality of this game. Last year they were not ready 2 times in a row, essentially.
Absolutely.
So Dan Lanning's team trying to finish off what would be a great bounce back win after the disappointment of last week. Still very much in the championship picture in the Pac-12. A touchback, and as Utah's offense comes out on the field, let's go down to Tiffany.
Hey guys, when I spoke to Coach Dan Lanning for Oregon at the half about what Bo Nix is doing and how he's gutting it out with that injury, he said Bo is showing them everything that they already knew that he had. He is a guy that wants to do anything to help his team win. Now on the Utah side, defensively, Coach Kyle Whittingham told me that it's clear that they don't want Bo Nix moving around in the pocket that much, so the ball is coming out quick. He said they have to get their hands up, guys.
All right, thanks, Tiffany. Utah's ball down 17-3. Rising will hand it off on first down to Tavion Thomas, who had some positive runs in the first half, but all things considered, Oregon defended him well.
Well, one of the things that Oregon is doing defensively is that front, they are moving them. They are slanting them, beating Utah to the punch. First strike, they slant left, they slant right. So whether you're talking about Dorless or DJ Johnson, or even inside with Casey Rogers, they are moving right away, and it's making it harder on that Utah offensive line.
They have been one of the best rush defenses in college football this year, and they're playing like it tonight. Rising throws and the quick hitter out to his main weapon, the tight end Dalton Kincaid, and right at the line. That will be a first down, Utah.
You know, and the other thing is we're not seeing the big play from Utah. And although they are a physical pound you team, usually they manage to get a big play, bust a run, or get a receiver down the field. That has not happened yet.
The Huskies sure managed some big plays on this field last week against Oregon. Thomas back out there, rising, time to throw, dumps it down short, and again having to check down. Kincaid with another catch.
Yeah, give credit to this back end, because remember what Michael Penix Jr. did to that secondary last week? He ate him alive.
6th reception of the night for Kincaid. Rising throws down the field here into great coverage, incomplete. Intended for Dixon. That was Christian Gonzalez again.
A nice job by Oregon. They doubled really the key receivers. They doubled Kincaid on the bottom, and then Gonzalez showed you he came over and made a great play without causing any interference. But Oregon is doing a good job of deciding when to double Kincaid and when to allow Gonzalez to have somebody man-to-man.
3rd and 4. I know there's a long way to go. Feels like a big play in this game as Utah tries to come from behind. Pressure. Rising dumps it short, incomplete. Intended for Kincaid. Brandon Dorlus got there in the backfield and took away any chance Rising had of getting the ball to Kincaid.
Yeah, the left side of that line, 51 Keaton Bills in particular, you know, had a whiff. Kind of looked up and said, what happened to Dorlus? Where did he go? How did he get by me? All of a sudden, look at him come on the outside, and there was a little confusion for Bills as to whether he should be taking the inside guide or if he should be taking Dorlus.
Dorlus has had a really good year. That's a big stop for the Ducks defense. Punt team out for Utah. So a punt with a fair catch back inside the 15. Oregon's offense will come on the field for the first time in the second half. And we'll see who's ruling the moment. Brought to you by Burger King. Not a lot of drama in this one tonight. It's Bo Nix.
Yeah, he's the king of the moment, because not only is it senior night for him here in Eugene, he's been the man tonight. Bad leg and all. Probably hasn't moved 5 yards in that pocket, but has delivered the ball perfectly. He is 16 of 21, $189 and a touchdown, and just a heck of a dime on that long throw to Thornton.
I mean, statistically, this is sort of a modest half for Nix. Now, Nix is not on the field here to start the second half. Ty Thompson is out there. Now that's huge. Thompson is going to flip it back, and the ball's on the turf. Utah scoops it up, and they'll score. Oh my goodness, Correne Reed. What a turn of events with Nix on the sideline. Ty Thompson, and a little trick play for the Ducks backfired.
Recovered by the defense.
And Oregon fans everywhere are asking why. Why the switch? Why the change?
It's an excellent question.
I mean,
what is going on?
Yeah, I mean, why would you not allow Bo Nix to come out and start this third quarter unless he got cold and that ankle stiffened up? But the first drive of the second half is critical, and you want your guy out there if he can go, right?
And then the play call, if Ty Thompson, who's never started a game in his career, and his first snap of the game, you run a trick play, and he flips it backwards, and it's a fumble, the extra point up and good, and you give Utah credit, but that is hard to explain.
It really is.
Wow, that may have changed this whole game. Ducks still lead, but it's down to 7 after the defense came up with the stop. The Utes defense came up with a score. You're watching the Pac-12 on ESPN. It's been a heck of a year for Pac-12 football, and we haven't had a night like this in this conference, I don't think, in a long time. tremendous game down at the Rose Bowl. USC survives UCLA. Great game here with huge questions about what just happened. Ducks were up 17-3. Bo Nix wasn't on the field. We're going to see if he's coming out here on the field. I don't know. As Utah's defense comes back out there, Bo is, I mean, he's got his mouthpiece going in, so I think that begs the question, what in the heck did we just see?
You know, sometimes it's just being too cute, too smart. I mean, Bo Nix was fantastic in the first half, and you want to keep him warm and keep him going, right? Get him right back out there, and you really want to try and control the first series of the second half, and that turnover just really changed the entire complexion of this game.
So now Nix back on the field. He's going to fake it to Irving and swing it out to Hudson, who's been touching the ball a lot tonight. Chris Hudson has been heavily involved in the pass game. That's his 8th catch of this game.
And most of those catches have been quick screens, quick throws, and he's gotten yards after the catch.
And I think you made the good point. That's perfect for a night where you're trying to protect your normally mobile quarterback, but it also plays into the Ducks' strength. That's the way they like to run their offense, even when Nix is at 100%.
Yeah, they get the ball out fast.
2nd down and 5. Irving is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Gabe Reed was right there to wrestle Irving down. Let's go down to Tiffany.
Hey guys, before Bo Nix went back in for this drive, I watched him warming up with Ty Thompson, throwing the ball, doing even a running pass, and then I saw him jumping up and down on the sideline. So he appears to be not any further injured than what he was coming into this game, guys.
I mean, thank you. You're down there closer than we are. It's worth monitoring. There was that play at the end of the second quarter. Nix throws short, incomplete into double coverage. And so the Utah defense comes up with a stop. The Ducks are going to have to punt the ball back.
Yeah, and, you know, we've seen a little different thing from Utah this half. You know, the Gabe Reed pressure off the edge was a little different blitz. And this last play, again, more simulated pressure. And then they come out of it and only rush 4. And then they doubled around the inside. So they knew that Bo Nix wasn't going to be able to move much and would have to get the ball out quickly.
Get the jacket on to try to stay warm on a frigid night. Low line drive punt, fair catch at the 25. The Utes defense gets the ball back for their offense. With still 11:56 to go in the third quarter. Things have changed for Kyle Whittingham's team. Well, 2 rivalries take center stage next week in our ABC primetime matchups. First on Friday, day after Thanksgiving, Florida coming off a tough loss. Florida State, meanwhile, looked great again, so that's a fascinating game. 7:30 on ABC on Friday, 7:30 Eastern. Then Saturday, what a huge game this now is. Yeah. Down at the Coliseum, SC and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Massive game with
huge
playoff implications. Handoff. Tavion Thomas will get the straight ahead carry for 3 yards on first down.
You know, Thomas the Tank and friends have not gotten untracked on the ground. They've not been able to run the ball very well at all. That is the 13th carry for Tavion Thomas, only 31 yards.
Utah's team has 65 yards on the ground. That's it. And Thomas has kind of been shuffling in and out of this game. Bernard on the field, and he's going to empty the backfield on 2nd and 8. 4-man rush, rising, pass tipped and intercepted. Noah Sewell picked it off. Another pass tipped at the line, trying to hit Yasmin, the tight end. Noah Sewell comes up with a turnover.
I think that was Hudson who got his hands on it. I think Hudson was in the middle of the stream and stopped his rush. Now just watch, 95 right in the middle. Yep, there he is, hand up, and he gets the block.
Might have hit his helmet, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe his hand.
A rough night for Cam Rising, and having the ball tipped at the line of scrimmage.
That's hard to explain. What's going on there?
Yeah,
very unusual for the Utes. Excellent quarterback. So now Nix back out there after the turnover. What a weird, wild sequence this has been. Swings one out short, and a big hit after the catch. Troy Franklin hangs onto the ball. R.J. Hubert delivered the blow.
Yeah, man coverage on the back end by Utah, and the safety goes with the running back when he breaks the backfield. And that's just, you got to make the open field tackle. We're seeing Morgan Scalley, the defensive coordinator, switch up his second half pressures and his coverages.
That play lost a yard. Second down and 11. Franklin had to leave the field. He was a little shaken up after that big tackle. Nix all alone in the backfield. Pressure comes, and Nix just not himself in terms of the mobility. Basically has to just go down.
And that was a coverage sack. He had nowhere to go with the ball and decided to, and he's a little frustrated with somebody in the route that was run, but he had no place to go with the football.
Well, Oregon came into, you see the number there, only 2 sacks allowed all year. First one officially they've allowed tonight. Fewest sacks allowed of any team, any offensive line in the country. But the Ducks are going backwards here.
Yeah.
You can feel some of the nervous energy in this stadium as, at least on this side of the ball, things have changed here early in the second half. Third and long. Nix throws, and that one is incomplete. Nobody there. The closest player to the ball was a Utah defensive back, Hubert, again.
Yeah, he was throwing into an area where there was a short and long defender and tried to fit that ball in between. Nothing there. And you can feel, as you mentioned, the anxiety in the stadium, the momentum, all because of that first offensive play by Oregon, the attempt to do a little trickeration with Ty Thompson at quarterback.
Changed the game. Now Dan Lanning's defense has more than held their own. But now the Utah defense starting to play much better, trying to pin the Utes deep. Fair catch at about the 14-yard line for Vele. Well, we will have a timeout here at Autzen. Utah's offense has to get it figured out. 9:39 to go, third quarter. Utes still down by a touchdown.
I said at the onset that I didn't think anybody was going to go undefeated through conference play. That has been the case as of last weekend, and you know, we have a tradition of cannibalizing ourselves, and this year's no different. And so I would say it's as competitive, if not more so, than any in recent years.
The Utah head coach kind of sounded like a fan. He's right. The Pac-12 has ever since Utah joined this league. This is unbelievable. Now those other conferences, that's undefeated teams, conference play and overall. For the Pac-12, they haven't had a single team since Utah joined the league. Not one has gone undefeated in Pac-12 play.
Well, and that's kept them out of the playoff. But the other thing that's kept them out is that one loss conference champs almost always get in. And the Pac-12 cannibalizes itself so much, they rarely have a one conference loss champ.
Tavion Thomas is going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Man, this Oregon defense has come to play tonight.
Physical, quick, athletic. DJ Johnson that time came in to this night with 6.5 sacks. Moves quickly. But getting back to that point, though, 16 of 19 one-loss teams have made it to the playoffs. So if you are a one-loss conference champ, you're pretty much going to get in. And if you're a USC fan, you're going, that's good news to hear.
Indeed. Rising in the shotgun on second and long to Bernard, and he had very little room. Maybe got 3. Brandon Dorless, Justin Flo, and others were there.
What a contrast.
Amazing.
From last season.
Amazing.
I mean, Utah physically pushed Oregon around twice last season, including the championship game. Not even remotely close to that tonight. Oregon's been the more physical team. They've dominated the line of scrimmage. Utah has been unable to run the football tonight. Only 67 yards rushing.
Another third and long for the Utes. 3rd and 9. Rising. Time, but nowhere to go with the ball. Gonna scramble. Rising, falls forward, and I do think he got there. First down, Utah.
Well, that is the toughness and the grittiness of Cam Rising. And Lanning told us yesterday he loves the Utah quarterback because he's a he gets the dirty yards, and this would be part of the dirty yards that did not make Lanning happy to see him pick up that first down.
That's big conversion. Now the slant, and what a catch across the middle by Dalton Kincaid. That was not a perfect delivery from Rising in traffic. Hit coming, and Kincaid holds on.
That's Alden Kincaid, 6'4", 240.
Utah is going to go quick tempo and hand the ball off. Bernard is swarmed.
Nope.
Brandon Dorless in the backfield again.
Yeah, and again, no edge, no place to go because DJ Johnson squeezed that thing down, and everything is stuck in the middle there where they're using their quickness. These edge players, Dorless and DJ Johnson, are winning almost every battle.
Teamwork, 5th tackle for loss. Now a swing pass left side. Bernard takes a thumping from Noah Sewell, but he does get positive yardage on 2nd and long to set up 3rd and 5.
I feel like Oregon took it personally, all the talk about Utah being the more physical program, the more physical team. That guy will hit you. Number 1, Sewell.
Utah is bringing Thomas back on the field, which is interesting. Play clock already down to 8. Utah is breaking the huddle. Now down to 5. Play clock at 2. And the ball just got snapped. No, it didn't. Timeout Oregon. Now that's interesting. All that late clock stuff for Utah. Oregon's a team with the timeout.
Yeah, they had a player running on the field, and it was unclear if they had 12 on the field.
Good idea maybe to burn one of those timeouts. 3rd and 4 when we come back. It's ESPN College Football presented by Geico. 17-10 Ducks, 3rd quarter over the Utah Utes. The Taco Bell Live Más student sections across the country competing to be the Live Más student section of the year all season long. Senior night on the field. Senior night for a lot of the students here at Autzen. Their final football game. And a big 3rd down here. Ducks haven't lost consecutive week home games back to back in 20 years. Handoff on 3rd and 4, and a push that will get the first down for Utah. So there's some of that Utes power running.
Yeah, heavy tight end formation. Came back and went right at him, this time to the right side. They've had trouble running on that left side of the offensive line tonight, but came back over to the other side and picked this up. That was a huge first down. We even thought that they might have considered going for it on 4th down.
Utah is missing a starter. Michael Mokafisi came off the field and went back to the locker room in the first half. Jaron Kump is now in at right guard. Play fake on 1st down. Rising had nowhere to go with the ball. Now scrambling, throws across the middle, wide open. And that's Vele, who spins through 1 tackle and then gets dropped inside the 40 down at about the 37-yard line.
First big catch for Vele. Did a nice job of working his way to the middle against this zone coverage. You see the linebackers creep up. There was a huge void behind them, and Vele came back and found that. So the play action brought them inside, and so now when Vele goes across the middle there's no underneath coverage.
His 3rd catch, but you're right. That's his first big play, Vele, in the pass game. Devon Vele, who grew up, even though he did not grow up in the state of Oregon, rooting for the Ducks. And this is his first chance to play at Autzen. Flags as that ball got snapped.
Start offense, number 51.
Utah has not played here since 2017.
Yeah, amazing. What a fascinating story about Vele, though, a young man who has become a star receiver for Utah, but was really just a basketball player in high school and was under-recruited, wasn't recruited.
Yeah, almost not recruited at all. Came to Utah as a walk-on. And he's become their big play guy in the wide receiver room. Swing pass out to Vele, right side, and he'll fall forward, gets the penalty yardage back, plus a yard or 2. For more on Devon Vele, let's go down to Tiff.
Hey guys, you mentioned he was a walk-on. Well, he wanted to be on this team so badly that in 2019 he stayed with family that was far away, and he would take the tracks to get to campus for 6 a.m. wait list. So he would walk 40 minutes, he said, to the tracks to catch the train and make lifts in time to be with this team. That's how bad he wanted it, and he earned that scholarship in 2020, guys.
He was trying to save money, pay for tuition as a walk-on. Second down and 9. Rising little sidearm delivery to Dalton Kincaid, the other big play receiver. Kincaid tried to stretch out, and he stopped a yard or so short of the first down.
Yeah, I find it interesting. I've mentioned this before, that the 2 key receivers are former basketball players. When you think about Vele and what Kincaid did down at the University of San Diego.
Kincaid, Kyle Whittingham is convinced he's going to be a first-round pick.
He's one of those big tight ends that can get down the field.
He's off the field for this 3rd and short. High snap. Thomas gets the ball, and Thomas, I think, just enough. More good run defense from Oregon, but they only needed a yard, and that's what Utah got.
And Thomas has a tendency to almost never get pushed back. And he's got that good forward lean when he runs. 240 pounds, 238. That's a man.
Number 2, one of the best players on defense for Oregon, DJ Johnson, kind of limping. He sprint limped. You don't see that very often, and then goes down on the sideline. That's a big loss if he can't come back. First down, handoff right side, and the cut inside by Mekhi Bernard. And he gets down inside the 20 to about the 18. Well, here we go again, Rod. The Utes on another long, time-consuming drive. They've had 2 of these already tonight where they've come away with no points at all.
Struggled once they got inside the red zone.
Bernard stays on the field, 2nd and 2. This time the little jet sweep action with a blocker in front. That's Dixon along the sideline. Touchdown. They love to use that play in this part of the field, and it works again.
Did you say jets? Jet sweep? Because he turned on the jets.
He did.
When he got to the edge. I mean, there was just enough room on the sideline. Watch the extra gear that Dixon flips it into about right now. Now he sees it, and he turns it on and just manages to outrun Stevens as he tries to come over.
So Utah down the field, 13 plays, 86 yards, 7 minutes, and an extra point away from tying this game. They were down at halftime 17-3, and now with 2:39 to go in the 3rd quarter, it's 17-17.
Yeah, it's been big plays in 3rd down situations, and then the jet sweep. Good blocking. Kincaid, 86, more than just a receiver. That gave Dixon the edge there, and he turned on the Jets. And, you know, Andy Ludwig, the offensive coordinator, as you mentioned, he likes to use those types of plays down in the red zone to get to the edge quickly.
Well, you do start to wonder, at least I do. I don't know if you agree with me or not. Oregon's defense has played well in this game, but the time of possession now 26-16. Yeah. And you do wonder some of these long sustained drives whether the Ducks are starting to wear down a little bit on the defensive side.
Well, that could be the case, but you know, the momentum has changed in this 2nd half because of the way it started. Oregon controlled this game, dominated this game until that turnover started the 3rd quarter. And since then, it's been Utah. You see it, you feel the confidence that Utah has, and you see that Oregon's been a little bit stuck.
Well, we'll see how this plays out. If Oregon wins the game, then maybe it'll be forgotten. If Utah comes from behind and wins the game, that play that you're referencing is going to be remembered for a long time around here. Fair catch on the kickoff. So the Ducks offense back on the field. Tie game now, late 3rd quarter, 2nd half for Oregon's offense. Totally different story from the first.
Well, Utah is beginning to affect Bo Nix a bit more. You know, talking to Morgan Scalley and Kyle Whittingham over the years, they've made it clear they always save some pressure packages for the 2nd half. They don't show everything in the 1st half. And I think we've seen a little bit of that here in this 2nd half. Gabe Reed on pressure once for them, something they didn't show in the 1st half. So Oregon's got to adjust to that now.
And they've had the ball 3 times. They've run 7 total plays. Handoff on 1st down. That's Whittington. And he's hard to get down. At the end of the play, an Oregon offensive lineman went down hard, and that doesn't look great. Yikes. That's Jackson Powers Johnson, already a backup who's playing because Alex Forsythe is not in there. Oregon's running out of bodies up front on offense.
Yeah, and again, this is an offensive line that is arguably the best in the conference, one of the best in the country. There is the annual Joe Moore Offensive Line Award, goes to the best offensive line in the country, and Oregon is nominated for that.
They've been outstanding. But no Alex Forsyth, and now maybe the guy who really has taken his place among the starters. We'll see if Jackson Powers Johnson. That's a good sign. At least he gets up and puts some weight on the leg.
Yeah. One of the things that I've noticed this second half is that Utah's been using Sione Vaki a little bit more in the secondary, going to a little bit more of a 3-safety look. And that last play, he wasn't in a deep safety position. He was at the line of scrimmage. So they brought a little bit more size and quickness, as you see another one of the injured guys who's not out there.
Yeah, we showed him on senior day. Alex Forsyth, really important player for the Ducks. He had the full pads on. He was trying, just couldn't go. Well, we'll watch what you're talking about with Sione Vaki. True freshman who's played well for the Utes. 2nd down and 6 for Oregon. Nix is going to throw the ball into the ground. Well, and that's an example of a play where if Bo Nix is anywhere close to 100%, maybe he starts to scramble around and try to buy some time.
Yeah,
he can't do it.
He can extend plays. I think you think about the Pac-12 quarterbacks, Caleb Williams, DTR, and Bo Nix, and Rising, guys who can extend plays. That's not Bo Nix tonight. He's a stationary quarterback, and he needs to be protected, and he's not running with the football.
Michael Penix has had a great year. Pac-12's had a great year for quarterbacks. It's not a coincidence that there have been so many good quarterbacks in this league, and there have been good teams. Play clock winding down, and now a penalty flag thrown. That's a delay of game.
Yeah, it's one of the few times they've looked up and the middle of the field was wide open, and all the pressure was being shown from the edges, and Bo Nix could see the middle of the field wide open. But he also knew he wasn't going to be able to get that ball off.
So that instead of 3rd and 6, it's 3rd and 11. 5th penalty against Oregon. Bucky Irving is in the game, but split out as a wideout. Empty backfield for Nix on 3rd and long. Nix throws short middle to the crossing route, and that's going to be a completion and a 1st down. Bucky Irving, the guy who caught it, took the big hit and hung on to the football.
Tremendous yards after the catch by Bucky Irving. He is so good out of the backfield.
The transfer from Minnesota. That's a big play for the Ducks. They needed a 1st down bad. Now Nix trying to move. He did move and throws on the move and completes it. Wow, what a play. Terrence Ferguson, the tight end, with the catch.
That is the first throw on the move by Bo Nix tonight. And it's been commonplace to see him do that during the season, but that's the first time tonight, and more tempo.
Yeah, Oregon going up tempo. Across midfield, Nix is going to throw deep right side. Incomplete. Some double coverage over there, at least late. Intended for Troy Franklin.
Well, they got the matchup they wanted. They got Franklin on Mata Eli, the safety or nickelback, and that's a matchup. Whenever you see it when you're Bo Nix, you want to try that one.
And Franklin, it still looks to me like he may not be 100%. Remember, he took a big hit and came to the sideline earlier in this 3rd quarter. Final minute 22 of quarter number 3. From 17-3 to 17 all. Shaping up to be a dramatic 4th quarter at Autzen. Whittington with the carry straight ahead inside the 45 down to the 42.
One of the interesting things about what Utah is doing defensively, when they bring that pressure off the edge, they are ignoring Bo Nix on the zone read. So if Bo Nix wanted to take off and run with it, he could. But they're basically saying, we know you don't want to run it.
It's a good point. Zone read, I mean, there's just no quarterback run option that's really seems to be there. Utah gets back. Plenty of time on the play clock. Nix making an adjustment to the call, and he wants somebody to join him in the backfield. That's Whittington. 3rd and 5. Pressure comes. The screen pass to Whittington, who catches and is tripped up. What an open field tackle. R.J. Hubert making some big plays in the second half. It's 4th down.
And he is really having a night for him. It's good to see him out there. Young man who played only 1 game last year because of injury. And he just takes off sprinting and makes his play. He's done that a couple times tonight.
The 1 game was the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Got back for that one, yeah.
Oregon offense on the field. Final seconds of the quarter, and the Ducks may well just let the quarter end and then get organized for a 4th down play to start the 4th quarter. I think that's exactly what they're going to do. Well, couldn't have a better setup, could you?
You can, yeah.
This is what you want. Big game, 2 top 12 teams. We go to the 4th quarter. Pac-12 under the lights. Tie game, 17-17. This is why you play, for scenes and nights like this. Tie game. We go to the 4th quarter at Autzen in Eugene. Dan Lanning's Ducks, Kyle Whittingham's Utes, 17-17. And what's at stake? USC, with their dramatic win at the Rose Bowl, clinches a berth in the Pac-12 championship game. Now Washington didn't lose, so you can eliminate that last line. Nothing else will be clinched tonight, but Utah and Oregon, huge stakes for these 2 teams to try to stay alive in that race to get to the Pac-12 championship and maybe the Rose Bowl. And here we go, 4th quarter and a 4th down and 4 for Bo Nix and the Oregon offense. Huge play right away to start quarter number 4. Play clock down to 5. Nix takes the snap. Nix throws across the middle, and a big hit right at the point of the catch. Forward progress, I think, just enough for the 1st down. Franklin with the catch, and they say 1st down Oregon.
Yeah, it's a good mark. Franklin ran that crossing route deep enough, just deep enough to pick up that 1st down. Good awareness.
Good point. That's a really nice play by Franklin. You got to get to that spot. So they're going to review it, which I don't blame him, but I think you were right. I think he ran the perfect route and was right where he needed to be.
Yeah, they had sort of a mesh concept going on in there, with the receiver coming in the opposite direction and 2 receivers heading for the 1st down marker, and you could tell Franklin was eyeballing where he needed to be.
Well, it's a very big play. Let's see if we can see.
You see the bunch formation, you see the 2 receivers, and the mesh coming the other way to try to rub off anyone who's there. Now that yellow line is not official.
But in this case, it's very close, I think, to exactly where he needed to get.
And remember, it's where the ball is and not where Franklin is tackled or where he stopped. And on review, you need indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field.
I mean, I will say that ball position there, he catches. I mean, I think that's going to be tough to overturn. But that ball kind of stuck on his left side, almost like the rest of his body was there.
Yeah, it has to be clear evidence.
Yeah.
The ruling on the 1st down stand.
I don't think you can overturn that one.
No. I mean, had the call gone the other way on the field, same thing. You couldn't overturn it.
Huge conversion for the Ducks, who have not scored in the second half. 1st and 10 now in Utah territory, down at the 37.
Yeah, give credit to the defensive staff at Utah for their adjustments. And here they are again, trying to be the last coach with the chalk, making adjustments at the last second.
There may not be a defensive coach in college football who signals play calls later than Morgan Scalley does. He waits till the very last minute. Carry by Bucky Irving. Correne Reed meets him, gain of 2.
And, you know, it's not a comfortable thing for players to keep looking to the sideline, waiting for your defensive coordinator to signal the play. You know, you get a little antsy. You want to see the formation and assess situations, and now he's waiting. See, they're still looking to get the call.
Still looking. Still looking. Oregon's coming to the line. All right, now they have the call. And in the backfield, that's why they wait. Get the right call. Irving goes down.
Last man with the chalk. Yeah. And, you know, Morgan Scally is there, and he's looking at it. He's going, I know their tendencies. I know the formations. I can put us in the best position if I can wait long enough.
Substitution for the Ducks, so Utah gets time to substitute. They do.
Yeah, look at all the mass movement by Utah defensively.
And they don't mind that. Morgan Scally says it's more important to be in the right call than to be exactly organized right when the ball's snapped. Third down. Nix throws short, wide open. Whittington cuts it to the outside. First down, Oregon. Down to the 25.
And Terrence Ferguson with a huge block that allowed Whittington to get to the edge. Let's watch number 3 in green come back and deliver a block right there. That's the block.
They have a big tight end room. The Ducks do. So Oregon with 1st and 10, 12th play of the drive. They've taken 5 minutes off the clock. And they'll hand it off to Whittington, who gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Helmet flies off. It's Samote Pepa who's going to have to come off the field.
And if you are playing along with Oregon's offensive staff, they would expect Utah to try to heat them up a little bit right now. This would when you could expect to get single coverage on the outside. And if you got a matchup that you want, this is when you would take your shot.
You got Franklin wide left. Nix is going to look right, throw over the top, and it is incomplete. He had Thornton there, and the ball ended up just a little bit short. I don't know if Nix needed to throw it a little farther, if Thornton drifted a little bit. Incomplete.
Yeah, but that's not the matchup, because that's Clark Phillips, number 1. And he does a good job of taking away the inside because he knows he doesn't have enough help there. And so that ball's got to be in the air and it's got to be perfectly thrown. So it's a good job by Phillips. Pick out another matchup.
Just that close, even still. So now 3rd and 10 for the Ducks in field goal range.
Lots of crossing routes by Oregon in this situation.
Yeah, they've used the running backs as wide receivers in some of these spots. They throw short here to Hudson, who's going to get tackled almost immediately. Maybe got a yard. Connor O'Toole, the converted wide receiver turned defensive end.
Yeah, athletic makes a play, and there is, looks like that's Hudson getting up slowly.
Tough guy night. Lots of players have been banged up in this game. 4th and 9 from the left hash. Oregon's going to try a field goal here to attempt to go back ahead. 41-yard try coming up for Camden Lewis, who's only missed 1 field goal all year. Snap and hold. The kick is on the way, and that kick is good. Very reliable place kicker for the Ducks. They don't use him all that often, but Camden Lewis has had an excellent season.
With all the great quarterback play that we get in the points, we got a big game, and it's a 3-point field goal game in the 4th quarter.
The College Football Playoff semifinals and the College Football Playoff National Championship on ESPN.
All right, how about our game track here at Autzen, brought to you by American Express. Both quarterbacks rather modest numbers. I don't think for Bo Nix, though, the numbers tell the story of the night. He is not even close to 100% healthy, and a remarkable performance considering the injury last week, how he was moving pregame, how he's moving in game. He's playing amazingly well.
Yeah, if people thought he was simply just a dual threat quarterback, he's proven to you can take his legs away and he can beat you with his arm and his mind.
Just had a spirited moment on the sideline with his offense. First year in this program, and he's been such a leader for this Oregon team. Kickoff for the Ducks after the field goal puts Oregon back ahead. Tomorrow, Sonic Blockbuster on the hardwood. You got two great players, two great teams. Oscar Tshiebwe and Kentucky on the road in Spokane to take on Drew Timme and the number 2 Zags. 7:30 Eastern right here on ESPN. Tomorrow, Kentucky, Gonzaga, college hoops.
Kentucky doesn't come this far west very often.
Not very often.
Yeah.
First time they'll ever play in Spokane against the Zags. 11:17 to go. Rising, Thomas, and the Utah offense back on the field. Cam Rising looking to throw, dumps it short to Thomas, who will get to the line of scrimmage, but no more. Noah Sewell was there, and he might not have even gotten all the way back to the line.
I would expect Utah to try to get Micah Bernard back in and use him out of the backfield and get some matchups with him, either against a linebacker or a wheel route, because that might be there.
Thomas stays in the game for 2nd and 11. He did lose a yard on that completion. Rising hands it off to Thomas straight ahead. Big hole. Tavion Thomas outside the 30 gets tackled at the 31, where it's going to be 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, Keaton Bills, 51, the left guard. Great job of getting out on Bossa, the linebacker, and creating more space for Thomas to run. Now you've got the 3rd down. Does Oregon continue to get pressure on 3rd down with their 4 when you have DJ coming off the edge and Dorlus off the other side? It's been a problem for Utah.
DJ Johnson back in the game. That's good news for the Ducks. He limped off earlier. 3rd and 4. Rising will play fake, and Rising's going to run with a massive hole. Takes a hit as he goes into the slide. No penalty flag thrown. It's a 1st down, Utah. Bennett Williams, the guy who put the hit on. Some Utah players took exception to that. Rising's signaling targeting.
Well, he got him with the shoulder. It was a shoulder-to-shoulder hit.
You could have penalized him not for targeting, just for hitting the quarterback.
Yeah, unnecessary roughness. Yeah,
in the slide. I was surprised there wasn't a flag thrown. Oregon might have gotten away with one there. That's a big conversion, though. Play fake to Thomas, rolling right, dumps it to Kincaid, and Dalton Kincaid kind of stumbling forward, gets out to the 46-yard line. That's DJ Johnson, that defensive end who tackled him.
Yeah, and that's a bit of a mismatch theoretically, because you like the idea of your tight end on that edge. But remember, DJ Johnson runs well, the former tight end.
He was a tight end for a lot of his career. He's had an amazing career. Over the top, Rising, incomplete. Well covered, trying to get the ball back to Kincaid.
Yeah, anytime they get the matchup of Kincaid on Bennett Williams 4, they try to take advantage of it. And Williams did a really great job of squeezing Kincaid to the sideline. There was no room to get the ball in.
9 minutes to go. 3-point game.
Big 3rd down. You think Utah's thinking 2 chances to get the 2 yards they need here, the 3 yards?
I think so. Rising back to pass. He's going to throw, and that's Kincaid who makes the catch. He got just far enough right to midfield. He knew he had the 1st down yardage, and he caught the ball.
You talk about stepping it up after Brant Keithy went out, who was really their number 1 tight end. Kincaid has just really blossomed.
He's had a great year. Rising keeper, and he fell down. And then his offensive lineman fell down, or Kincaid rather, the tight end fell down right on top of him. I thought there was a hole there, but it closed.
Kincaid had a monster game against USC earlier this year. 16 catches for 234 against the Trojans.
Kincaid's been targeted tonight 14 times. He has 10 catches on 14 targets.
Well, you got a star. Get the ball to your stars.
Bernard sprints wide, Rising all alone in the backfield on 2nd and long from midfield. Over the top left side for Kincaid, who gets shoved out of bounds. He actually caught it, they'll say out of bounds, but 2 penalty flags are thrown on the play. Stevens, the safety, had the coverage, but he's going to be penalized.
Pass interference, defense number 7, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You see the restriction, you see the hold by Stevens, and somehow Kincaid still got his hands up there to make the grab.
Still caught it, almost got that foot down. That was close.
Yeah.
Close. So the pass interference, 15-yard penalty. Let's go down to Tiffany.
Dalton Kincaid told me he's always prided himself on leading by example, which he's doing tonight. But he said he worked this summer on becoming a more vocal leader. He said leaders establish leaders, guys.
Handoff on first down, Utah with a hole left side. Bernard with the carry. Utah's thrown the ball tonight 30 times now. I'll update that target total. 30 pass attempts, 15 targets of Kincaid.
Yeah.
Quick tempo, Rising on the move. Cam Rising's going to heave it, incomplete. That was Vele, the intended target.
Yeah, Vele has not had a lot of room tonight. Christian Gonzalez has been showing you why he's a potential first-round pick as a corner. He has just been shut down over there whenever he's been matched up with Vele.
So here we go again. Even though the down markers on the field for a moment stayed at 2nd down, it is 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, move Vele to the slot, get him inside and try to get him away from Gonzalez.
Bernard in the backfield, 3rd down Utah. They will hand it to Bernard. Bernard didn't get there. Brandon Dorlus, another big play, and now Kyle Whittingham has a big decision to make. He's bringing Tavion Thomas, not the field goal kicker, on the field.
He didn't hesitate.
Did not hesitate.
He said, Thomas the tank engine, get in there.
What did he say to us yesterday? We do not like to kick field goals.
Yes.
4th and 2.
Hey, 29 years at Utah, 18 as a head coach. He knows the style of play.
Play of the night right here. Rising, play fake. He's going to throw, and it's incomplete. He threw it low. He had Kincaid there, and it was just a bad throw.
Like he got too excited about it.
Man, that was uncharacteristic.
Kincaid was wide open, easy first down. And Rising just kind of pulled the string on it. Take a look at here. This is a first down, and he just threw it into the dirt. Oh, man.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. And in part by Taco Bell. Vote for this month's Live Más student section on the Taco Bell app.
2019, Oregon beats Utah, goes to the Rose Bowl. 2021, Utah beats Oregon, goes to their first Rose Bowl in program history. Tonight, these two teams meeting at Austin for the first time since 2017. Turnover on downs and just a massive missed throw from Cam Rising. So Oregon gets the ball back. Handoff Bucky Irving, who's going down in the backfield. Tackled for a loss by Cole Bishop.
Talk about your 8-man front. How about your 9-man front? Cole Bishop, the strong safety, sitting in there just ready to make a play.
Utah decided not to try a field goal that could have tied the game. They went for it. They had the play. And Cam Rising, who's one of the great quarterbacks in college football, just threw the ball at the feet of Dalton Kincaid.
Huge, huge play.
Inexplicable. 2nd and 10. Nix on that bad right ankle, rolling, heaving deep. Thornton gets turned around and makes the catch.
Give your receiver a chance. And that's all Bo Nix did. He gave him a chance to make the play. He put the ball up and let him find it. Tremendous throw.
50 yards. Now Nix is going to throw left side. It's picked off. Clark Phillips, what a play. and he got tripped up. Otherwise, he was going the other way.
Oh, man.
His 6th interception of the year.
Oh, man.
That was a great play.
A couple hours ago, we talked about these two corners being two of the best in college football. And Clark Phillips, maybe the best. Another big-time play right on time for the Utes.
Bo Nix back on the sideline after Clark Phillips picks off his 6th pass of the year. What a play.
Yeah, and this is a throw Bo Nix normally can make. That hash mark throw to the edge. Clark Phillips out there playing the slot corner. Now, he can't get enough on this throw because of that injury to his right leg, and Phillips sees it the entire way, picks him off.
So first down run, Tavion Thomas gets 8, close to 9 on first down. And remember the tackle. If this score holds up, the tight end, 7th-year player, Cam McCormick, who's battled injuries over and over again, tripped up Clark Phillips.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he was going all the way.
Yeah, he was gone. That was a pick 6.
Time winding down. We're under 5.5 minutes to go. Utah may have to make it happen on this drive. 2nd and 2. They may not get it back if they don't. Thomas powers his way forward, gets the first down.
The way that Utah's had these time-consuming drives, I think you're right. It's all or nothing for them on this drive, more than likely. And I would expect that Cam Rising wants to redeem himself from that last throw, and I think you'll see him run the ball on this series too.
I mean, that is amazing. 4 different 10-play-plus drives tonight, and they've scored on 1 of them. 0 points on 3 of those 4 drives. 1st and 10 Utah. Rising from the shotgun, throws left side, and guess who? I don't even have to say it anymore. Dalton Kincaid with the catch.
You know, and he's such a good wide receiver and tight end, and he's matched up with safeties that you almost always have a mismatch with them. It's just a little out route. He's open.
Again, his head coach said maybe Eric Weddle, otherwise maybe the best all-around athlete that he's had at Utah. Rising throws across the middle, and that one's intercepted. He was trying to get it to Kincaid, and Bennett Williams comes up with his 2nd pick of the game.
And good for Bennett Williams. He gave up a couple of big ones last week. He gets targeted and picked on. He was sitting in the middle, just looking at Rising's eyes, and saw that coming, and he's right there. Sees it the entire way. Big takeaway for the Ducks.
3rd one of the night for Oregon. All right, it's time for our top performance, brought to you by Invesco QQQ. Another takeaway for the Oregon defense.
Yeah, big play. They're playing a little combo coverage, man-to-man on the outside with the corners, but zone inside. Bennett Williams is free to help. And see, he sees where the help is needed. See a little try to run around the zone guy underneath by Kincaid. Just reads that, has the quarterback in his vision, and makes a spectacular play.
And a very poor throw again from Cam Rising, who, I mean, we're not picking on him. He's going to go down as an all-time great Ute, but he is not having a great night tonight. The Utah defense needs a stop, a handoff for a gain of 2.
It's been a rough night for him. You see the 3 picks, but not just the picks. The 4th down throw, which might have resulted in a touchdown for them. You know, those throws, he's got to be really unhappy about his performance in the 4th quarter.
He's had 2 big 4th down plays that he has not converted. Meanwhile, Bo Nix, what can you say about the toughness of the senior transfer from Auburn, who has captivated this Oregon fan base with a magical year, playing what could be his final home game at Autzen. Direct snap to the running back, and Utah sniffed that out. My goodness. Peppa, Gabe Reed and company a loss, and now Utah calls a timeout.
Yeah, this is something, and immediately when Bo Nix leaves the backfield, you know it is just the Wildcat, a little counter action there, and they jumped all over it. I want to say this about Bo Nix. We've seen a lot from Bo Nix over this season. But we haven't seen what we've seen tonight, which is just this toughness under pressure, injured, and hanging in there and making something happen and trying to will his team to victory. And this could be, and as wide open as the Heisman race is, this could be his submission for Heisman candidacy.
So 3rd and 12 coming up. By the way, what's better than 1 versus 2? We got that in women's college basketball tomorrow. Aaliyah Boston and defending national champ #1 South Carolina comes out west to Pac-12 country to take on #2 Stanford. It's on ABC tomorrow. 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific.
All over that one.
You and I will be watching that game.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Utes, after turning it over, trying to get a stop against the Oregon defense. 3rd and 12. Showing pressure. We'll see if they bring pressure.
Will they leave the middle of the field open?
Play clock down to 5, bringing Irving into the backfield, down to 2, down to 1, and they got it snapped. Here comes the pressure. Nix delivers, knocked away. Franklin was there, and Vaughn got his hand on it. It's 4th down.
That is a huge play by Vaughn, the corner who is playing opposite of Clark Phillips tonight. Look at this. That's a tough throw also. We've seen in this 4th quarter that Bo Nix has had trouble generating some power behind the throws. But again, he's got that bad right leg.
So the Utes use a timeout, save some clock. They still have a chance in this game despite all the things that have gone wrong. No fair catch this time. Vele gets a few extra yards for his offense outside the 20. The Utes are going to start at about the 23-yard line. 3:14 to go.
This is a chance, maybe the last one of the night, for Cam Rising to have his moment of redemption.
He needs it. As great as he's been, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the country 2 years running.
He's changed the program. He's changed the way Kyle Whittingham views offensive football at Utah and his willingness to gamble more.
And he's played in a lot of big games. Bernard empties the backfield. Rising is going to throw short middle. That's caught by Vele, who gets across the 30 and is finally tackled at the 32, about 1.5 yards short of a 1st down.
You know, Oregon has at times tonight been very good at affecting Rising, and they need that again on this drive.
Utah's got to play with a little urgency. Under 3 minutes to go. They're down 3. Rising is going to scramble. He'll get the 1st down. Not going to slide. Cam Rising with some power running all the way out to the 45. That's a gain of 13.
That is such an important run, and it makes the clock less of an issue. You're at midfield, 2:40, 2:41. Plenty of time.
Should be plenty of time. 2 timeouts still on Utah's side. Clock will wind now that they're ready to go. Rising takes that shotgun snap. He's going to throw middle. Almost another interception. That one was way off target, way behind Money Parks.
Yeah, it has not been Rising's night coming back late over the middle. He's late again to the middle, and he's been behind the receivers. It's been a consistent thing.
He got away with one big time there. 2nd and 10. 2.5 minutes to go. A little screen pass. That's Dixon. Dixon gets tackled at midfield. Another big play. Bennett Williams has bounced back tonight and been huge.
Yeah, he's had a tremendous night. Now, big 3rd down. Oregon has been able to use just their 4 down linemen to get some kind of pressure. Will they roll the dice now and bring a little more heat? They do.
They brought heat. It got picked up initially. Rising throws back across his body, incomplete. And now it's going to be 4th down.
It was a good decision to bring the heat and speed up Rising. Again, a little bit of a surprise to Utah. Here comes the pressure inside. You see Bassa and you see Sewell. Big 4th down. Speed them up again. More pressure. I would think that Oregon's got to feel good about bringing some more heat right now.
might have been a catchable ball. So here we go. 2 minutes to go. 4th and 6. Play clock down to 5. Kincaid came in motion. Here's Rising on 4th down. Rising throws over the middle and incomplete off the hands of Utes. He had a chance to catch it and he couldn't bring it in. Another stop for the Oregon defense.
Well, give the Ducks credit for speeding up Rising and affecting him and bringing pressure on 3rd down and 4th down. They push him out of the pocket here, make him a little bit uncomfortable.
Still should have been caught.
Still should have been caught. But a difficult throw, difficult catch, and Enos couldn't come up with it.
I'm not saying that's an easy catch, but game on the line.
It's one you'd like to think you'd get, right?
Rising gave his guy a chance to make the play. Well, 2 timeouts, 1:57. So the game is not over. A first down, though, for the Ducks likely makes it a ball game. Nix will hand it off. That's Whittington left side running. Whittington gets tackled after a gain of a yard, and Utah will burn its 2nd timeout.
Wow, what a way to end Saturday night, huh? A game with so much on the line and so many big plays.
Totally different kind of game than the one that was played in Southern California at the Rose Bowl, but equally dramatic here in Eugene.
Well, the Pac-12 has owned the stage Saturday night.
It has.
Big-time games with big implications for not only the Rose Bowl, but for the college football playoffs.
Now, speaking of, when we're finished, coming up next on SportsCenter, those college football playoff contenders, many of whom were challenged all across college football today and tonight. That classic game at the Rose Bowl, USC UCLA. We got the U.S. men's national team preview ahead of the start of the World Cup. All that and more coming up next on SportsCenter. USC has clinched a spot in the Pac-12 championship game. No divisions this year in the Pac-12. It's just the top 2 teams. Bo Nix all alone in the backfield, at least at the start. Now Whittington motions back there, and they'll give it to Whittington right side, and there's nobody there. Whittington goes into a slide and didn't get the first down. Oh my goodness.
And he had the first down.
You got to get the first down. It's the right idea. You don't want to go out of bounds, but you can't.
All he had to do,
slide short.
He just had to take 2 more strides, and he's got a first down and puts Utah in a world of hurt.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even close.
Yeah, 2 more strides, and it's a big first down.
I think they even gave him a generous spot. He's a yard short. I think he should have been 2 yards short. Man, so now Utah uses their final timeout. Dan Lanning went for it on 4th down last week. I have to think the head coach is thinking, I got 2 plays to get a yard and ice the game.
Wow. Maybe.
You can't punt the ball from here.
Well, you can. Should you?
Knowing how Dan Lanning has coached this year?
Yeah, he probably wouldn't. But if you don't make it on this 3rd down, the risk involved of not making it on 4th down and giving them a relatively short field. And remember, it's 3 points they need, not 6.
You're right. And his defense has played great.
Yeah.
They can make it all a moot point if you just convert here and put the game away.
And remember, he does not have a healthy Bo Nix. Now, maybe Bo will decide he's got 1 run in him tonight.
Whittington motions into the backfield. A fake pitch. There goes Nix. Dives forward. That's an Oregon first down. And how fitting. His first run of the game puts it away for the Ducks, who are going to come up with a tremendous win. And what an effort from Bo Nix.
Gimpy. He had 1 gimpy run in him tonight and saved the best for last.
Utah can't stop the clock now. So all Oregon has to do is kneel down a couple times, and this game is over.
Can we look ahead a little bit?
We can.
Oregon has not faced USC this season. If Oregon is the team that gets there, what a matchup that would be. Oregon and USC. But Oregon has a really tough matchup next week with the Oregon State Beavers, a team that has a chance to get to 10 wins if they beat the Ducks and win their bowl game.
Yeah, I mean, so the Oregon State matchup next week is going to be massive. USC's already clinched their spot. Utah plays Colorado. The Apple Cup is huge. Washington is still alive. They play Washington State.
Isn't this great?
I mean, it is. Look, Kyle Whittingham used the term cannibalize, and it's true. The Pac-12 has eaten itself up over these last many years, but the Pac-12 also has provided us this year with all kinds of fun and drama.
You're going into the last weekend of the season, and the Pac-12 is relevant nationally and for the conference championship.
And Oregon, assuming they just put the finishing touches on this one, the way it's played out today, Oregon, if they beat Oregon State, and they got to go to Corvallis to try to do it, they'll be in that Pac-12 championship game.
And USC come Tuesday night should be sitting at least at number 5 in the rankings, with Ohio State and Michigan likely, well, they are going to play each other, and the loser from that should drop out of the top 4.
Now, this may be the only year that Bo Nix wears an Oregon uniform. Maybe his only season here in Eugene, but he's going to be remembered forever for the season he's had and for the night he's had tonight.
And it might get him an invitation to New York.
The final kneel down for Nix and the Ducks. What a bounce back. And what a win. The team that bullied Oregon last year and pushed them around, and the Ducks defense, especially the guys up front, and the toughness of their quarterback Bo Nix prevails, and they beat Utah. The final score is going to be 20-17.
I am just stunned at how well Bo Nix was able to play tonight on one leg, and how Oregon really turned itself around to be this physical in a game that they had to be after Washington ran up and down the field on them last week.
Really impressive. Tiffany down there in the middle of all of it, trying to get ready to talk to the man of the night, Bo Nix. Dan Lanning, what a first year it's been for him. All right, I think Tiffany's in position. Tiffany, you got Bo down there?
I got him, guys. Bo, on senior night, your first run of this game seals the victory for this team. You battled through injury. What was it that kept you going tonight?
It was God. He gave me the strength all week to just continue to battle and battle and battle. There's a lot of moments this week I didn't think I was going to play, to be honest with you. But he just continued to heal my ankle to where I could come in here and give the best that I had and glorify him in everything that I do. So, I mean, the Lord's so good. And on nights like this, you just really see it, and you best believe it.
You mentioned those moments where you didn't know if you were going to be able to go tonight, but you still addressed the team in a team meeting that you called. What did you say to those guys?
You know, it was a tough week. We had a lot of guys. A lot of guys didn't know if they were going to play. A lot of guys were hurt. A lot of guys were sick. And our DNA traits, one of them is toughness. And we all had to show toughness this week. And I mean, you should have the whole entire defense out here doing this interview because they played lights out. They got turnover after turnover. And offense, we didn't play very good. And they kept us in the game, and they essentially won it for us. But I love this team. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
You stole my next question, so I'll just ask you about Bennett Williams and those 2 interceptions. How big was he for you guys tonight?
He's huge, and he's one of the guys that we were all in the training room today because we were trying to battle through injuries, trying to get better. And so for him to do that, it's just legitimately toughness. That's all it comes down to. And we were tough. We played tough. We played as a team. We played for an uncommon purpose. And like I said, I wouldn't trade this team for the world.
Enjoy this one tonight. Thanks, Bo.
Thanks so much.
All right, Tiffany and Bo, what a night for Bo Nix. Oregon now 1 win away from clinching a spot in the Pac-12 championship game, 2 wins away from a trip to the Rose Bowl for the Ducks and Dan Lanning in his first year. Can you spend 1 year on a campus and be an all-time legend? Maybe you can.
Yeah, you can. You can when you play like this, and you can when you keep your team in the hunt for a Rose Bowl berth. And you can when you are making your case for an invitation to that ceremony in New York they call the Heisman Trophy presentation. He's had a phenomenal season and did nothing tonight to hurt his campaign.
Yeah, modest statistically compared to the rest of his year, but monumental in terms of his impact on this game and all the circumstances surrounding Bo and this Oregon team bouncing back from the disappointment. Knicks and the Ducks 1 win away from a Pac-12 championship game berth. They take down Utah. The final score 20-17 for Rod, for Tiffany, for our crew. Dave Fleming saying thanks for being with us. What a night for the Pac-12. We've got Sports Center. Ashley and Zubin are there starting right now.